Well, the saga of the wall continues, and President Donald Trump has a new appeal to the American people. Today, Trump took to Twitter to explain why a wall is needed to prevent human trafficking.
Open borders are very bad for our country. Crime comes in, drugs, human trafficking, so many things. But let's talk about human trafficking. You can't bring women or children through a port of entry where you have people looking into the back of a car, a van, a truck. It has to go out into the open areas where they drive into our country like there's no problem.
And on Capitol Hill, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell reportedly is working on plans to prevent another government shutdown. While House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says money for a permanent border wall is a non-starter, even if there's a deal for temporary protection for DACA recipients. So are we back to square one? Well, let's ask our 360 view from our political panel tonight. Former Georgia State Representative LaDawn Jones and conservative commentator Steve Malzberg. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Okay, so LaDawn, I have to start with you. Obviously, no one is for human trafficking, especially you're in Atlanta. The Super Bowl is happening this weekend. There's already stories coming out of issues that have been, people that have been caught that is happening. Is this right for President Trump to be saying, using this type of communication, talking about human trafficking as the reason why we need a wall?
No, and it's actually ridiculous. You see that every time there's some new negative thing that comes out, he pivots towards that to say, this is why we need the wall. That doesn't change the facts. I think they said there was 6 or 8 people that have actual cases of folks trying to come over and being convicted of terrorists coming into the country and problems of that sort. So Trump is just making things up, and the more that people challenge him, he just pushes one way or the other. But at the end of the day, he still wants the same bigoted wall.
Well, that's the thing, Steve. This is a justification that he is using over and over again, is the fact of human trafficking as well as drugs, opioid uses. He does take stories out of the headlines and uses it to justify the reason why we need a wall. But isn't this what politicians do? Is this anything new?
No, it's nothing new, and to call it bigoted, then Chuck Schumer, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, all the others, they're all bigots because they all voted for a wall. I mean, this is insane for Nancy Pelosi to stand there today and say, no, not a penny for the wall. So she hasn't budged. She never intended to budge. And the only question is, will the president sign a bill that doesn't fund a wall and then declare a national emergency, or not sign the bill and declare a national emergency and shut the government down again? Look, you know, he brought border guards together in the White House press briefing room back in December. Border guards who were at the border, and they said, we need a wall. It's not about politics. The wives of border guards have invited Nancy Pelosi down to see why we need a wall. Nobody reports on it. Nobody cares, and she's not going to acknowledge them. It's not bigoted. It's common sense. It already exists in part, and the Democrats have already voted for it. So what's the problem?
Well, that's the thing about common sense. Nancy Pelosi today said there will be no funding for the border wall in this budget. Okay, we've been 2 years with Trump. You know, I find that's Nancy Pelosi taking a hard line with President Trump. Does she really think that that is going to do anything but literally poke the bear? Maybe not even poke the bear, it's kick the bear to where he does get angry and doesn't want to work her. That's what we're seeing. I feel like we're seeing children fight sometimes. And was that smart for Nancy to be so hard-lined on this issue?
Absolutely. It is extremely smart, because the reason why I call the wall bigoted, despite the fact that Democrats voted for it before, is because of the rhetoric of Donald Trump. There's another part of America other than us being free and keeping us safe. It's about being a place that is a welcoming, melting pot of people. And the difference is his entire election, Donald Trump said things about Mexicans being all rapists. We don't want to support that image in America, that's what all Americans think. And so what Nancy Pelosi is doing by standing up so strongly, no matter what our petulant president would do, is telling the rest of the world we are all not like him. Now, when he's gone and we get someone else not like him in office, we can start talking about the border wall again.
Well, that's the thing.
I love it.
Well, that's the thing, Stephen. She mentioned that. She says, you know, when you talk about that we're all not like him, President Trump's facing that within his own party today, as you've had Mitch McConnell actually introduced an amendment to the bill saying we're not going to pull out of Syria. So for the first time, you're seeing Leader McConnell say, we're split, we don't agree, we're going to try to curtail the president's powers. Is that really a good thing?
I think it is a good thing, because it shows that where they do disagree with the president and they think it's a major issue, not a press-created Russiagate or he's a racist or something like that, they're willing to buck him. They're willing to declare through legislation or through a referendum or resolution that they disagree with him. But, you know, these minor things that the press creates, they're not willing to go to bat against him for that because it's really a non-issue. I mean, it's just precious. Save this tape because I'm not knocking my opponent here, but the fact that she admitted, you know, hey, we'll vote for it after Trump. It's all about Trump. And by the way, Trump won. He won more Hispanics than Romney or McCain. With all the rhetoric and all the things you mentioned, he won more Hispanics after saying that. So you can't say all Hispanics are against him by any means.
But that's the thing, LaDawn. Does this
I never said that.
Does this not show that Republicans are split? Does this not actually make the GOP even weaker, showing that there's a divide between the White House as well as Congress right now? And does that play into the Democrats' hands?
It does help the Democrats if they're split. Anytime the other party split, it helps. And it does. And the split is good to see because they're speaking up for things that they stand for. But I don't think it hurts them because Americans for the last 2 years have been saying, what happened to the Republican Party of values, of Christian values, of marriage, of all of these other things? What is going on with the guy that you have there? If the Republicans don't split from Trump, they're going to bring down their party for a very long time.
Well, I know as long as the two of you continue having good discussions like this, neither party is going to lose. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.